What's going on, everybody? Unreal Entertainment Network here today, back at it with TKD Rebounds here today, everybody. And today we're going to be discussing a very interesting subject. Now, I want to discuss success and what makes a person successful, what makes a Hollywood celebrity successful, what makes a successful boxer, rapper, wrestler, MMA fighter. You get the gist. So I want to ask you, what do you think makes a successful person, and what do you think makes a super successful person? Now, there's a difference between the two. Now, if you're talking about successful out of the norm, you're talking about people like Alex Rodriguez and John Cena and stuff like that. When you're talking super successful, we're talking about Jay-Z, Puff Daddy, Bill Gates, Oprah. Now, I want to know from you before I give my opinion, like, what do you think makes a successful person, and what do you think makes a super successful person in terms of what people need to do in order to get to those levels, especially to a very successful level? Because I mean, as everybody knows, it's very hard to be successful, let alone have that entrepreneur money, like that Bill Gates owes, and all that kind of stuff. So I want to ask you, like, what do you think makes those categories so unique in terms of what do you need to do to get there?
It's all about who you sleep with and who you suck dick with.
Okay, but in reality, my friend, reality.
All right. Well, to be successful, it's about who gives the best blowjobs. And if you want to be really
Seriously, what do you
successful,
think
it's
makes a
about
successful
it's about who
person?
you sleep with. Nah. Um. To be successful, I guess you can have like a hobby or I guess a special skill or a trade that you can perfect that you can master at like a mastery level. Like for example, say basketball. Some people do it as a hobby, and some people really, they really want to get better at it, so they master it. So they master the jump shots, the rebounds. They know how the game is played in and out, and they play well with others. Now there's some people that have mastered, at an advanced level that they that they go far beyond anybody else. So like where we see, oh yeah, he's good. It's just one guy at a local park compared to the next guy who's in training camp and who's busting his ass who's trying to make it pro. So there's some people that I guess that have like a hobby, a topic, or a trade or something like that they really perfect it at a mastery level, and they're ahead of the game.
So what do you think makes a super successful person?
Uh, I I guess what I just said, like times five.
Well, for me
I can't
personally,
really.
I think what makes a successful person is dedication. Like 1000% dedication. Like if you're really dedicated to something and you pour your heart into it, I feel like you can reach that plateau. Like for example, there have been many people such as Steve Jobs who have failed many times. And that's good to fail, because when you fail, you're often, on the path of success. Now, in order to be
Yeah.
successful, I feel like you really need to just distance yourself from society and what society says, because honestly, a lot of people can just succumb to that. A lot of people are easily succumb to simple words, and I think with all honesty, I can relate that to you, because sometimes you do get affected by words. I mean, do you not? If somebody says, "Oh, you can't do it. You're a piece of shit. You're nothing," sometimes it does get to you. Am I wrong? So I feel like in order to be successful, to break through a business, I think you need to really give up on girls, on guys, on drinks, on friends, on work, on
Yeah,
your
there's just so
family.
much you
I,
have to
I, I really think you
sacrifice.
need to give up on that in order to succeed, because when you give up on it, I mean, not necessarily give up on it, but distance yourself from it, because once you reach the place where you want to reach, you can always go back and pull everything and everyone forward with you. So, like you just said, in order to be a basketball player, I feel like basketball players really need to just strive to be the very best. Like me, I'm striving to be the best professional wrestler I can possibly be in my life. Am I the best? Absolutely not. Am I aiming to be the best? Absolutely. My goal is to reach the WWE. Now, other people have other ambitions. Some people see mainstream rappers and they want to be like them. They want to embody the success. Now, to be super successful, I believe that it's not so much dedication as it is time. If you pour in the time and investments into something, you're bound to just grow leaps and bounds. Now, it's very common for somebody to be successful and then just blow all their money on simple things, because how many people have we seen in our lifetime have a one hit wonder and never be heard from again because they take that money, they take the fame and all that stuff for granted. They blow it on simple stuff, and they just lose their value. So I mean, me and you, are we ever gonna have Bill Gates money? Absolutely not. The guy is worth $76 billion. That's just his net worth. He's worth more than anybody else. I mean, Jay-Z alone is worth 119 million. 119 million, and Bill Gates exceeds that by tenfold. So I mean, is it possible to get to that level? Yes. But more than likely, I believe that if you start at a young age, at a very young age, I think you're bound to get certain places. Like, I think the most useless thing in the world is having unused talent and having to untap your potential, because when you have untapped potential, who knows what could have happened? You could have been the best you could possibly be at MMA, at singing, at dancing, at football, baseball. So
I want to
um
be a dancer.
I'm personally trying to be the best. Is it hard? No, because all you have to do is just dedicate to it. But as human beings, I feel like we should all do it at least once. I think we should all strive to be the very best at least once. And even if we fail, at least we can come back and say, hey, at least I tried. Because how many people do we know right now, especially in our neighborhoods, that even try to do anything except have common jobs, common vehicles? It's not bad to live a common and normal life, but I feel like if you pour in the time and the dedication, you're bound to tap into your actual potential, and who knows what may happen from that. So,
I agree.
I mean, but like you, for example, like what was the one thing that you feel like you could do, but either you're restricted from it, or you feel like it's impossible to do?
Well, with the Taekwondo, I felt like I always had talent, but then in my job too, like I work in the cold, so sometimes it gets to my chest, and then when I train, my lungs can't expand, so I don't have that endurance, and that stamina that I should have, let alone I had to go on and off with the Taekwondo and whatnot because I had to work and go to school, you
Right.
know typical stuff. But now that I finished school and now that I'm just working in the mornings and whatnot, now I can dedicate my free time and go ahead and do my taekwondo, and then I can get as far as I can, because even though I have my black belt and people say, oh yeah, you got a black belt, it's the end. No, it's not the end. That is just the beginning, because there's so much more that I can branch off of. Now I can go to the AAU tournaments, like an American amateur other cup or some shit or some bullshit like that. It's like it's like a little tournament where everybody, I think, in the United States, they go and they compete. You have the nationals, which is held every year. You have the Grand Cups. You have Korea. You have Columbia tournaments. You have Pan Am games. You have the Olympics. It's just so much that you can grant. So now that I've exceeded such a level where I can branch off, it's only a matter of time if I get there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really hard, and then also too, you also have to dedicate the time. You have to learn certain things. You have to keep on training and try to adapt other people's fighting styles and how the way they fight, how the way they take the pressure, how the way they commit. You know what I'm saying? And how you fight with them, and just learn from them. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just have one fighting style and just, oh yeah, what I'm saying, I'm making. No, you have to um try to grab everyone else's, and then you have to say to yourself, how can I use that to go ahead and to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? You know how
So,
how can I take 10 different fighters that I fought and then use it as my own? You understand me?
so if you had to give one piece of advice to somebody who's trying to come up in their life, what would it be?
I say just go for it. Just try to find the top. Try to find a hobby or something that you're really really good at, and try to perfect it as much as you can. Because the more time and dedication, the more perseverance that you spend on that one little thing and try to perfect it, you'll see that it definitely goes a long way. Like me, for example, when I used to do the Taekwondo thing, I used to get upset because I didn't know how to do like a triple kick or a spin kick. So and like I kept falling. And I couldn't hit the pads correctly, so I'd get frustrated. So it came to a point where I'd get upset. I'd be like, I want to quit. I fucking I can't stand this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? But rather than me just quit and spend all that time all for nothing, I wanted to perfect it and really, you know, um, try to get it at a basic level and then advance and advance and advance it. So at least now, now that I perfected it, I can know how to use it in a fight. You get me? Rather than me just quit, and then just um not get anywhere. So if you have a hobby, if you have like a special skill or trade that you really think you're good at, like this guy's wrestling thing, he's branching off, he's doing well for himself. I'm gonna be traveling, so I'm gonna be fighting state to state. Just whether it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people have been getting famous for, bro. Remember that fat girl say sitting on a toilet?
Oh
Sitting
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
toilet
yeah,
and he
yeah,
got
yeah.
32 fucking million views. Well, if that fat bitch could get a fucking 32 million views for sitting on a toilet a minute straight, just sitting on toilet, I'm pretty sure you guys can succeed too. All right, so for everyone who's out there, like I said before, if it's like it could be drawing, dancing, photography, looking at women, whatever the case may be, just try to perfect it and try to reach that mastery level. Don't forget your, I guess you say techniques and skills and your because just don't get discouraged when you're about to take a loss. You know what I'm saying? Everyone loses. Everyone loses. You know what I'm saying? Even the experts fail. Even Jay-Z had some bad days. Even Beyonce he fucking had some crappy songs. Whatever it is, everyone loses. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take that loss and get discouraged. You have to take that loss, learn from it, see what you did wrong, see how can you make it better, and and go ahead and just do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Just don't let anybody bring you down. Don't fall into the wrong hands of society, your parents, your friends, or whatever the case may be. Just focus on yourself, and you'll see that you go a long way. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you all for watching, everybody. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit this video up with a like and a favorite, guys. Stay tuned for more because me and TKD will be back with more videos, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and I really hope you guys push
Thank you so
yourselves.
much for watching,
And
guys.
don't forget, don't let nobody tell you that the sky's the limit when we have footprints on the moon. So, thank you all for watching, everybody. We'll be seeing you all
Ooh, I
later.
like that. I'm gonna use that shit. I'm
Peace
gonna
out.
use that.